Pebble makes building global teams effortless. With our platform, Pebble gives startups and established companies alike the ability to hire local talent instantly. No costly local entity setups and no compliance headaches. You can trust Pebble to grow your company everywhere, from anywhere, and still have time to manage the rest of your world. Pebble. Build teams anywhere.
The Israeli Defense Forces have begun another wave of strikes against regime targets in the heart of Tehran. We'll talk to Israel's ambassador to the U.S. straight ahead. But first, in a press briefing today, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had this to say about claims that Israel dragged the U.S. into a war against Iran.
Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations.
Meanwhile, Iran's broadening attacks hit a key oil refinery in the Israeli port of Haifa earlier today after launching strikes targeting Qatari oil and natural gas facilities yesterday. These Iranian attacks follow an Israeli strike on Iran's South Pars gas field and come after President Trump renewed U.S. threats against the country's energy infrastructure. For more on this, let's bring in Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Dr. Michael Leiter. Great to see you, Ambassador. Thank you so much for coming in and being here with us tonight, especially at this very trying time. As we just heard, Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed this claim today about the Israeli government getting the United States dragged into this war. Just wanted to get your perspective on that as well.
Well, good evening, Katie. It's good to be with you. I think it's terribly insulting to President Trump and to Prime Minister Netanyahu. We don't demand more than any other country in the world, but we demand no less. And we have the right to come to our best ally, our senior ally, and say, this is our case. And the United States ultimately makes its decision whether or not it's in its interest or not. And clearly, every president, the last 7 presidents have all said that Iran cannot achieve a nuclear weapon. President Trump has taken the decision right now to do something about it because the threat was indeed imminent. Imminent doesn't mean that the missile is in the air. Imminent means that they're racing towards enriched uranium that will endanger the world.
Another debate that's happening is over America's goal in the war and what they should be. Let's take a listen to what War Secretary Pete Hegseth said today, and also DNI Tulsi Gabbard during testimony today on Capitol Hill.
Our objectives, given directly from our America First president, remain exactly what they were on day one.
The objectives that have been laid out by the president are different from the objectives that have been laid out by the Israeli government.
So the United States has been clear about the goals of Operation Epic Fury, while Israel has been very clear about their own goals for Operation Roaring Lion. Where do you think the two countries share goals, and where may the goals and objectives be different?
Well, first of all, you know, lovers can have a spat, too. We're very, very close. We can have a little bit of a difference of opinion, but so far, I don't see the difference of opinion. I mean, I act as the go-between between Jerusalem and Washington. I'm there at all the discussions, and I haven't seen the daylight yet, and I don't think there's going to be. Look, the objective is, number one, that there's not a regime in Tehran that's pursuing nuclear weapons. Secondly, that it's not building a ballistic missile program. And third, that it's not funding proxies that are trying to rain down on the region and bring us into conflict. If those 3 things are achieved, we hope that the added value will be that the regime will collapse and that the Iranian people will put their boots on the ground and change their regime. But our objective is peace, security for the region.
I would add that Secretary Hegseth also said that Israel has been an incredible and capable partner, willing and able partner at this very crucial time. But was Israel's strike on Iran's South Pars gas facility an example of differing objectives to get to the end goal?
No, I don't think so. First of all, it was misinterpreted. That is the energy source for Iran. And as a matter of fact, when we hit the energy source for Iran, it has no effect whatsoever in international markets. But it was perceived afterwards as being connected to the rising gas prices. So therefore, the president said, hold back. We, of course, decided to hold back in accordance with the president's wishes. And we're focusing elsewhere on the national infrastructure of the Iranians because this puts pressure on the regime. The people have risen up 2 months ago. The people want to rise up again, but they have to feel that there's cracks in this edifice of tyranny that's going to enable them to rise up and take their country back.
Do the Israelis believe that a regime change can occur if the infrastructure, the energy infrastructure in that country stays intact?
Here's the
or is that a pressure point that you need to get the regime to fall?
Well, you know, there's no science here. You know, people say political science. There's no science in politics. We have to do our best to degrade this regime so that it cannot pursue nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, and proxies. And with that, that's all they have. What are they going to base themselves on? Freedom? They don't have freedom. They don't give freedom. They don't let their people.
What's up? It's two dudes in a Doppler. I'm joined with the Chief, Jamie Warner. I'm the meteorologist, Matt Huffner. Part-time anchor, too. They got me anchoring every once in a while, but mostly a weather guy.
Yeah.
A weather guy at heart.
Pretty cool. What do you think about that anchoring, huh?
It's, I was telling you this earlier. It's like, I like weather. I'm passionate about weather. I get excited about weather. It rains. I walk outside to look at the weather. I'm not passionate about tax policies or war in the Middle East or politics. It's like I can anchor it, but I'm not like, oh boy.
I was gonna say, I think it might be kind of nice in that, you know, it's like it's not really your wheelhouse. So yeah. I mean, the bar is low, right? I mean, you just gotta do a pretty good job, and then it's like, wow, he's doing a great job, right?
Yeah. It's
the
fun.
weather you've got to get right because that's what you're supposed to
yeah,
do.
It's fun. I'm playing with house money. I'm filling in. Krista moved up to mornings. Angela is a flight attendant now. She got her wings. So a lot going on. And also a lot going on with the weather. Mm-hmm. Jamie, we had a pretty busy Sunday. That was the day that, in case people don't remember, or in case this gets rerun, that was the day that we had fast winds over 50 miles per hour. We had tornado sirens going off. And then we went from tornado sirens to snow to record low, all in one day.
To record heat later in the week.
Record heat later in the week. It has been messy, but things are looking like they're going to be a little bit more, I don't want to use the word normal because we're getting record highs. Let's say less active, less crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, after, you look back at like the first half of March and there were 4 episodes of stormy weather.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, out of the 4 episodes, there are really only 2 episodes that generated tornado-warned storms. And then out of that, there was really only 1 episode that actually generated confirmed tornadoes. And that was with that wild cold front that came through on Sunday.
Let's go to the video from that because there was 4 confirmed tornadoes. This video has been circling around. We're going to the old donkey barn of, this was in Willow Springs.
Yeah. Yeah, north of Willow Springs.
I get confused. Was this one an EF0 or an EF1?
EF0.
This was an EF0.
I think the winds topped out at 85 miles per hour.
At 85, okay. Gary, if you can, pull up that video for me, clip 1. You can see the winds. This was the EF0 tornado in Willow Springs ripping up the donkey barn. That is what the National Weather Service called it. Not a barn,
It's a donkey barn.
And as the winds got under that barn, started to rip it up, and the animals scattered, went completely gone. Watch the tree line, because right about now, you see a tree that starts to topple on down. And towards the end of that clip, also, we're looking at that kind of red. I believe that's a feeding trough. It's stable. Then last second, tips over.
And you can see the donkeys are, I mean, they're fighting that wind. Here's what, I think this is a great piece of video because a lot of times you have these very weak tornadoes go through and there's no video. I mean, you don't know exactly what it looked like. Or you hear reports of, we had a barn that was damaged or destroyed, and you don't have video of what that looked like. So in this case, we actually have the visual evidence of what this looked like as it was blowing through. And here's the thing. Winds were at 85 miles per hour with this tornado. And you might think, well, goodness, that barn just, it came apart. I mean, it's just in pieces now. I mean, it must have been... Those winds must have been a lot stronger than 85 miles per hour, and they don't have to be. it comes down to how accessible that roof is to the wind. And when you've got open walls like you have with this barn, that wind can come in, push that roof up, and then as soon as that roof starts to tilt up a little bit, now you've got a sail.
Catches the wind.
Yeah, it catches the wind, and that wind just takes that roof and blows it, downfield.
The point I want to make is National Weather Service saw that video, obviously. I mean, we got it from the National Weather Service, and
they went, it's a barn, but it's also a donkey barn.
It is a donkey barn. They sent survey teams. They looked at the damage. They came back. They ruled that EF0. There was 4 tornadoes ruled that Sunday. That's one of the 4. And the interesting part is you see that video and people go, why is that a tornado? When you see the movies and when you think of big tornado events, you think of the Joplin tornado. You think of these big tornadoes that are leveling towns. You picture a funnel. You picture it spinning around in circles, and
you picture debris spinning around on the ground.
You picture it's picking up cows and it's throwing it through the air.
And in this case, you've got donkeys that are literally leaning into the wind, and they're fine.
The weaker tornadoes, the EF0s, the EF1s, a lot of times they don't have a funnel to them, and they don't have to have a funnel. You don't have to be able to point and say, "There's the tornado right there." And sometimes the weaker ones, you can't do that at all.
I think it can be very confusing because really it's been only in, I would say, like the last 30 years that we've kind of gotten to a place where we'll classify a lot of these wind events as tornadoes.
Yeah.
30 years ago, we might have called that straight line wind damage. And I think in this case, they were able to correlate the wind damage with the circulation. Because we were doing the coverage Sunday afternoon, and before the warnings were issued, you could see these little bitty circulations showing up on radar. So they're able to correlate the circulation with the wind damage, and then they can see in the pattern of the debris whether or not there was some rotational aspect to the winds, and then they'll go ahead and call it a tornado. But these tornadoes that we had on Sunday, they're a different animal to what I think most folks consider a classic tornado. As you said, a classic tornado typically comes from a supercell thunderstorm that's going to generate the funnel cloud most times, and you're going to see that swirling debris on the surface, and it typically is stronger, and it stays on the ground longer. With these, what we call QLCS tornado events or mesovorts, they're shallow in meaning when I say shallow, the circulation does not extend very high up into the storm. They're pretty close to the ground. That makes them very hard to actually detect on radar as they get away from the radar site. And they typically don't last long. A lot of times that circulation is there in one scan on radar, and it's gone the next.
They don't last long, and you compare that to, this is the part that's frustrating, is tornado sirens go off, and people don't know, is this a big, bad tornado? Is this something that's going to level my home? And that's why we really try to stress on a lot of these tornado sirens. It's like, just get inside your home, get away from windows. You're going to be just fine. Yeah. Because there are a lot of tornado events are like this. They're the weaker ones that spin up. They're only there for a minute or two. And then there are some big ones like the Joplin tornadoes that sometimes it doesn't matter where you are in your home. If that rolls in, you're in trouble. Yeah. But it's a large different gradient on how strong a tornado can be. We saw some weak ones, thankfully. No injuries, no fatalities, no donkeys were hurt in the process.
Yeah, I mean, they like I said, they kind of ducked their head and leaned into the wind.
They're like,
once they got out from underneath the bar, like the roof of the barn, they were like, man, this thing's going. We're getting out of here.
Dipping on out.
Yeah. But like you said, I mean, out of that, and that's sometimes it makes it, when we're doing severe weather coverage, it can make it kind of difficult to message. Yeah. Because there are times where you'll have a squall line coming into the area. And, we know what these severe thunderstorm warnings look like oftentimes, where it's just a big, giant, long box, right, covering the squall line. Sometimes the tornado warnings are issued that way. And I think, 30 years ago, that would not have been. 30 years ago, you'd have like the narrow, triangular-looking polygon. Now you might have these big, boxy tornado warnings because what's happening is forecasters are looking at that line and they're going, hey, anywhere along this line, we could see, sometimes they do see the circulations. Sometimes they just go off of just the conditions and the likelihood that you're probably going to see another quick spin up downstream. So we're going to go ahead and issue the tornado warning in advance.
It's one extreme to another. We're talking about extremes, differences in tornadoes. We're going to talk about a different extreme that day. As we went from tornado siren sounding off, and then only hours later, temperatures quickly dropped. We got below freezing. snow moved in. Gary, if you can, go to the next kind of snow video for me. First ever snow squall warning was issued by the National Weather Service office in Springfield, and it happened hours after the tornado video that you saw. This video right here took place, I think, only 2 hours after the previous video, where the storm conditions moved out, temperatures dropped below 32, a little bit of moisture lingered behind that front, and that turned into snowfall. It wasn't a lot. It really struggled to stick because temperatures went from 60 degrees down to 30 degrees in a matter of hours, and the asphalt was still warm, so it didn't want to stick.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock, I mean, Matt and I were both here. We were doing live streaming severe weather coverage. I mean, this is before the tornado warnings because we wanted to get ahead of it. But at 1 o'clock, it was 67 degrees. By 5 o'clock that afternoon, it was 37. I remember the temperature had dropped a full 20 degrees, I believe, in like an hour and a half after the cold front went through. So just a remarkable drop in temperature. I know when I walked out of the building at close to 6 o'clock, it was already snowing here at the TV station.
Yeah.
And then it got worse as I was driving home. I mean, as I was driving home, visibility's dropped to probably a half a mile. I think we were getting at least moderate snow.
My favorite part of all of that is we went from, it was 70 the day before with sunshine.
Yeah,
we're at the St. Patrick's Day Parade, waving to everyone.
76 on Saturday.
So beautiful. And then we had storm chances. We had snow that moved in. And then record low. We set the record low that night. Best part about this, Jamie, I don't know if you saw this, was Sunday night we sent a reporter out, Michael McLaughlin, to cover the snow, to cover the weather event that happened. He didn't pack a coat because it was 60 degrees when he left for work.
He didn't watch the forecast. And he's out there just
being like, there's snow that moved in and record cold temperatures. And I'm like, bud, you did not watch the forecast and you're having to pay for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this time of the year and even in the wintertime and fall sometimes, that's why we tell you, hey, what you walk out into in the morning may not be what you walk out into when you get off of work. I mean, you can see these big dramatic shifts in the weather and temperature.
I got a lot of friends that just like using weather apps. And for kind of the pattern we're in now, that's fine. It's going to say, hey, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. That's all you need. But some of those friends that just like using the weather apps got burned on that Saturday or Sunday rather, where temperatures are tanking and there's sirens going off. What in the world's happening? Oh, next thing they know is there's snow. It's that's hard to really wrap up into one event, but wild that
And Matt and I were talking about this earlier too. It's not just that one day. I mean, less than a week before the big cold front and the big cold snap, less than a week before, there was one day where we had a morning low of 62 degrees. It was a record high low temperature for the date. Then, less than a week later, we get snow. We get a record low on Monday of 15 degrees. A near record low of 17 degrees on Tuesday. And then by the end of the week, we're chasing record highs.
Yeah, we're wondering, me and Jamie are looking at the forecast today, and we're going, could it hit 90 degrees? That's the question we're having to ask. We're going, is it going to hit 90 degrees in March?
Yeah, it is a special March pattern as we go into this weekend after the big cold snap. A special March pattern because we're looking at temperatures at levels in the month of March that we haven't seen literally in decades. And I think in the case of Springfield, I think it's going to be the warmest weather in March since 1929.
Wow. We're going to talk about that spring outlook. We're going to do that in just a second. But before we do, that snow that came in wasn't a whole lot of snow. It was 0.2. But that 0.2 inches of snow
I needed
matters. It caused Jamie Warner to put a smile on his face and me to be absolutely disgusted that I saw it. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back from that, I'm going to explain what we mean. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Two Dudes and a Doppler. I'm still mad. Previous.
Pebble makes building global teams effortless. With our platform, Pebble gives startups and established companies alike the ability to hire local talent instantly. No costly local entity setups and no compliance headaches. You can trust Pebble to grow your company everywhere, from anywhere, and still have time to manage the rest of your world. Pebble, build teams anywhere.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Oh, I don't see where you got your degree.
I don't have one. I went another route.
All right. I guess tell me a bit about your experience.
For 15 years, I've been managing logistics and mastering project management skills.
Wow. Sounds like you've got just the kind of skills and experience we're looking for.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
On the last episode of Terrible Time. Talked about, you're like, oh, I got a suit that would go great for that tie. I'll make that tie look good on air. And then you have never lost a competition. You've never had to wear it. But I think I found something. A way that I could beat you. And it's going to be a weather way. I'm kind of saying I think I can beat you in a forecast challenge. Very simple, terrible tie challenge. It's going to be winter related. One of us is going to say a number of how much snow we think is going to happen. We set a line. The other says higher or lower. One builds the fence, the other has to decide which side of the fence they're going to sit on.
On average, we typically get about 12 inches to 13 inches in an average winter season. Winter has been on vacation. We have interludes of warmth and then bursts of cold, and then an interlude of warmth and then a burst of cold. It's just I give my answer.
And that's the reason why you have been such good, why people love going to you for weather, is because you don't just say, like, I'm going to say 7 because 7 feels like my lucky number, and I'm feeling lucky this year.
Yeah. It feels like this is going to be a below average winter 7. I like, and not
7
because
even.
You said the number. It wasn't because Matt said 7.
Lower. And I feel good about lower if we don't get one mega winter storm that brings 5 in. That's how I'll miss it. If we get 5 inches in one storm, I bust. If you get a big snowstorm, you're going to see me eating crow on air.
Where's that big dish of crow?
If we get one big snowstorm, if you don't remember that video, that happened at the start of January. You have to go all the way back to 3 months ago when we filmed that. That was weeks before that major winter storm came in. So the forecast, incredible line that you set up. You said 7 inches of snow. Is it going to be higher or lower? We had 7 inches of snow in January, nothing in February. And I was like, what am I going to do for this terrible tie challenge? Jamie said more than 7. I said less than 7. It's exactly 7 inches of snow. And then Mother Nature said, don't worry, Jamie, I got you.
I got your back.
I got you. We're going to add how about a first ever snow squall warning after tornado sirens go off to get you 0.2 inches of snow to get you to be the terrible tie champion, which means...
Put that tie on, Matt.
I have lost again. Jamie, undefeated, 3-0 in terrible tie challenges. Every one of them has been incredibly close. We have tied on the first one. You won the tiebreaker. This one, I lose by 0.2. What was
Now
the other
we've
one?
still got Matt. We've still got some spring left to go.
Yeah,
where it can still snow. Now, I'm not saying I see that, but I mean,
you can get even more.
I'm going to pad it out a little.
But we know that I lost. Now we don't know how much I've lost right now. I'm losing by 0.2 because of that snow squall warning that came in. But the official total of snow for this winter season sitting around a little more than 7 inches. So I lost
Matt,
this
you've had
challenge.
to wear that tie so much, we're going to have to get you a new one, man. You're wearing it out.
Wearing it out, yeah. It's really easy to do with this tie because it is so ugly. We haven't done this in a while. So
it's also like the cheapest material. It feels like it's made out of paper mache.
We haven't done this in a while. We haven't had a terrible tie challenge since January. So what is happening is there is a very ugly tie. It is a metaphorical dunce cap. The loser has to wear this tie on air one entire day. You have to do all your weather forecasts with it. You have to find a suit to try to make it look good, and it is a neon-inspired pink fuchsia skinny tie. It looks miserable. And I'm going to tie it on right now, and I'll wear it for the rest of this episode.
Ties, ties are like animals. They know their owner.
Oh,
and that's,
no. You're saying it just comes back home.
Just keeps coming back home, man.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Whoa.
Where's Tom Turton?
So even Tom Turton's laughing at me for this one. I'm going to find a challenge to beat you in. I felt so good. I felt so good about that. Then I see that mega snowstorm. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. And congratulations, Jamie. Let me say that. Congratulations, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, 10 years most accurate in the Ozarks. For good reason. I got it tied on. I made it even short to make it very...
Matt, you need me to tie that tie for you?
It looks good. It looks
good.
You
got the Fred Flintstone look going on over there?
Yeah, well...
yeah.
It's not a very high-quality tie. That's part of the terrible tie challenge.
No.
So I don't know the next time what our next challenge is going to be, but congratulations.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned earlier you were good at eating hot dogs. I know that I would not be.
Yeah.
Especially if we have to eat the bun, and you got a soggy. I can't do soggy buns. I just can't. It makes just thinking about it kind of.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I'll have to find a way. We'll find a way. I'll get on the board for my supporters. I know Gary, our director, is one of my biggest supporters. My mom and grandma and brother who watch every single episode, they're another supporter. They're cheering for me. They're saying, you got to beat that Jamie Warner. You got to find a way to take him down. I'll find a way. I'll find a way.
So Gary, and we all love Gary.
Yes.
Gary's running the boat right now.
Our director. Gary,
he's
can you put
director.
on the wide shot and wave?
He's running the boat.
He's a little shy.
Come on, Gary.
Come on, Gary. Wave to the camera. Come on, Gary. Come on. He's trying to find it. Okay. He'll find it. He'll find it.
While he's trying to find that. So you heard Gary say, I love you, Matt. I love you.
It's my number one fan right there.
He is. And, I mean, there are many days where Matt and I will be in the studio together, and Gary will come in and it'll be like, hey, Matt. And Jamie.
Matt, how's it going? Oh, hi Jamie.
And Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. We got about 3 minutes left in this episode. I promised people an outlook of spring. And people might have seen that terrible tie episode, and they're like, wow, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner and Matt Huffner did a great job. They didn't overhype things. They didn't call for 20 inches of snow this winter. We called for about 7. It was 7.2. I'm wrong because I was off by about half an inch of snow. That's how the game kind of crumbles off.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Let's give an outlook to how spring is going to be.
Yeah.
March has kind of gotten off to some active starts.
Yeah.
Not a bad tornado event yet.
And you know, you make that point, and it's a lot of folks will probably go, man, we've had a busy March already. It's going to be a bad spring.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because you actually looked into some of that, like with we talk about El Nino, La Nina. We throw those terms out around a lot, and you dug into some numbers there, and you know where we've been in years past. We've been in a weak La Nina phase the last couple of winters, but this year's a little bit different.
Yeah, we're going from La Nina to neutral, and then eventually El Nino. That's the transition process we're in, where we're slowly getting out of La Nina, and we're eventually going to get into El Nino. But I think for most of this spring, we're not really in El Nino. We're not really in La Nina. It's kind of a transition period, and throughout the I went back and I looked, okay, what's the last time that we had a setup just like that, where we're transitioning out of one and into another? 2023 and 2009. Those were 2 years that we had a very similar setup, and both those years played out kind of similar, where March got off to an active start. They got into April. They got into May. Things slowed back down, and then they saw another kind of spike at June. So the activity was bookends, where they had some tornadoes at the start, some tornadoes at the end. Not really
not
too
a whole
much
lot in between.
They had a tornado. There was tornadoes in April. There was tornadoes in May, but just not a whole lot. It kind of tapered off.
And I think, let's look back at the last couple of springs. I mean, I feel like the last 2 spring severe weather seasons have been on steroids. I mean, especially
very active.
Especially last spring.
Last year was near record.
Yeah,
near
record.
record.
we got off to a busy start. I mean, March 14, we had the big tornado outbreak that really focused over southeast Missouri, northeast Arkansas. But we had multiple outbreaks of severe weather through the month of May. The year before, we had a lot of severe weather, and of course, it got capped off with that big Memorial Day weekend severe weather outbreak. It was a multi-round event of severe weather that came with tornadoes. There was that one monster supercell that cut across northern Arkansas into southeast Missouri, dropping EF2 and EF3 tornadoes. So, we've had a couple of very busy spring seasons, but those were, again, weak La Nina winters that kind of went into weak La Nina type springs. So the thinking is that maybe as we move out of this La Nina and we're heading toward El Nino, we don't see that same type of active spring that we had the last couple of springs.
No, and I know this isn't flashy to say. This doesn't get the clicks on social media. This doesn't get the clicks on the websites. But this spring looks like it's going to be an average spring. I'm not seeing anything that screams massive tornado outbreaks are going to be happening over the next couple months, or it's just going to downpour rain like we've never seen, or record temperatures. It's going to be the hottest spring. It looks like an average spring. And what that means is we'll have bursts of warmth. We'll have some periods where we get back down to cold. There will be tornadoes. I just don't see anything that says we're chasing records over the next couple months.
And for me, in my experience, I feel like when you have a very warm start to spring, you will oftentimes have a fast start to the spring severe weather season. But then the warmth continues throughout the spring season, and you see those severe weather levels kind of drop down to normal, or even below normal levels.
So we're going to have to wrap up this episode here, but it's been fun. Yeah. Not looking forward to wearing this on air, but we'll be back next week.
You're selfish. You don't.
We'll be back next week. We'll see ya.
Pebble makes building global teams effortless. With our platform, Pebble gives startups and established companies alike the ability to hire local talent instantly. No costly local entity setups and no compliance headaches. You can trust Pebble to grow your company everywhere, from anywhere, and still have time to manage the rest of your world. Pebble. Build teams anywhere.
If you invest in real estate, private deals, precious metals, or crypto, why limit your retirement portfolio to just stocks and funds? A self-directed IRA lets your retirement invest on your own terms with tax advantages. IRA Financial makes it simple and compliant to take control. No investment fees or asset value fees. Align your retirement strategy. Learn more at irafinancial.com.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundedouttogether.org.
What's happening in one of America's greatest cities? Drug addiction, homelessness, mental illness, violent crime.
It's just insane.
The Decline and Fall of San Francisco. A Bill O'Reilly special. Thursday at 9/8 Central. Only on News Nation.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.